Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. Hope everyone is having a great day. I hope you had a great week. Today we are still celebrating the 3-year anniversary of Book Chat, and I am currently trying to contact my guest today, Paige Frost. And for some reason, we are having difficulties getting connected today. But, you know, we started late and there's always something that, prohibits the show from starting when it's supposed to. And but we're going to work through it. We're going to try our best to get through it. And it's just crazy that we're still having this issue. We had issues. I think it was last week, if I'm not mistaken. But we got it all sorted out, and so hopefully today we'll be able to do the same thing, because I really do want to talk with her and follow up with her. Just in case she's got anything new going on, and talk about her book, Unconditional Love, because I really enjoyed that book, and I hope that she will follow up with a new one. So hopefully I can get her on today's show and we can talk with her. If not, then we may just have to reschedule her for another time. But hopefully in the next 15 to 20 minutes we can get her on. But anyway, let me just talk about, while we're still waiting to try to get her on the phone here. I want to talk about my experience as the host of Book Chat, and talk about myself a little bit. I don't do that very often, but I feel like it's time for you to know, who I am. I am an author, and I have several books that are out there under my real name, and then under my pseudonym as well, and which is E.H. Shepherd. And also the reason why I started this show, I felt as though I wanted to talk about writing, and not just about myself, but I just wanted to talk about writing overall, and I wanted to be able to bring in other writers to talk about what they do too, and just let you hear them, get their impression of if they have struggled, if they've been successful, just the routine of how they start and end their stories, and the process of writing and seeing your work published, and that's important to me. And last week we had on one of my guests, Wendy Knoll, and I really enjoyed her. And I've had so many guests on that I haven't rebooked or called them to do follow-up stories, because it's actually too many of them. But I want to today just to give them a shout out. And Colleen Ryan, she was one of my guests. I had her on back in June of actually this year. And then, of course, we had Scott Lawrence, and I had him back on in January of this year, and he was very informative, because he works with it's not a publishing, well, I guess it sort of is a publishing, but they do a little bit more and it's a little bit more insightful than that because they actually manage the clients and do publicity and things like that for them. So I really enjoyed having him on. And then, of course, Sherry Hunter, I had her on back in August of last year, and we talked a bit. She lost her husband, and but she has done so many incredible things, skydiving, and she's traveled, at least to two different continents that I can remember, and she really was a joy to have on the show. And then, of course, I had Carrie Perry on the show, and I really enjoyed having her on too. She was so much fun to have on the show, and maybe I can have her on, maybe in a future program, but we'll see. And then, of course, I had Tilda Metra. I had her on, and I think she was from the Netherlands, and I had her on back in May of 2019, and I really enjoyed talking with her. And talking about her book, and I would love to be able to catch up with her, but there's such a time difference, and so I feel sort of bad about having guests on that are in different time zones, and we sort of have to manage how the interview time, the scheduling time of when I can talk with them, because I don't want to inconvenience them in any way. And of course, Wendy Waters. Oh my gosh, we'll be talking with her on the 29th. She'll be back on the show, and she was such an energetic guest, and she's a singer. Oh my goodness! So I really enjoyed talking with her, and we often on Twitter. We often communicate on there, so I'm glad that we're able to stay in touch. And then there was KB Ballantyne. I spoke with her in the earlier part of last year, which was March of last year, and she is an author, she's a teacher, she's a poet, and I really enjoyed her work. And maybe we can catch back up with her one day too. Hopefully, we'll see. And who did we have on here? We had Jesper Smith. I think he was also in the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken, but I truly enjoyed talking with him as well. He does fantasy writing, and he was such a nice guest. I had the hardest time getting him scheduled because of the time difference, but we worked it out. And so I was able to get that interview with him because I really did want to speak with him, and was glad that I had the opportunity to do that. And then, of course, Brielle Porter, I spoke with her back in February of last year, and she was still working on her book. She hadn't quite gotten it published yet. She was still working on it. And from time to time, I still see, she'll post on Twitter and things like that. So I like that she's still at it. And then, of course, Adam the Colobus, and we will be talking with him too. His interview will probably be on September, maybe the 5th of September, which I think that's the first Saturday in September. Wow, September already, just around the corner. It is, wow, how fast and how crazy 2020 has been. I never imagined that at the start of this year, my 2019 didn't end very well. I lost a brother, a couple weeks before Christmas. So, it sort of ended on a sad note, but then 2020 came, and I thought things would be better. And for a while they were, and then we got hit with a pandemic, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it just seems so surreal, that we in this time, in this age, that we are in the midst of something that is so devastating, so many people affected by it. And it's not just local, it's everywhere, all over the world. So that's something to think about. It really is, how many lives that is touched. And I'm glad that I have this platform so that I'm able to talk about things like that. I know we're talking about books, we're talking about writing, but I also want to talk about things that are current events, and that's a very current event. But along with my guests, they have helped me through this year to bring just a little bit of normalcy, to my day-to-day life. And, and not to get bogged down in what's going on in the world, but still being able to focus on what I love to do most, and that is write and talk about books, and have guests on my show that also, share those gifts and those talents, and they also want to talk about what they do. They've been so forthcoming and just so gracious with granting me interviews to talk with them just a little bit about what they do and what they're doing, and and how it has changed their lives, because I know that, as an author myself, it has deeply changed my life in good ways and in bad ways, but in more positive than negative. So I'm very grateful for that. And I thank God every day that I'm able to first of all, use the full capacity of my brain and my imagination, to first and foremost, write the stories, and then to create characters, to bring them to life, on paper. But as I said before, this is my passion, and I just enjoy it so much. And, I've mentioned this before, having this platform, being able to do this podcast on a weekly basis is like therapy for me, because first of all, I'm an introvert. And so, you learn to adapt to whatever it is that you must do. And so, it's in my heart. It's been placed on my heart to do this program. And so it was something that I couldn't, just shuck that responsibility of doing. So sometimes you just have to, soldier on past all of your idiosyncrasies and just do, the task at hand. So I'm glad that it has not hobbled me, in a way that I cannot use my voice to still communicate and to get my point across every week, and just talk about the things that I love to do, and bring exciting and new ways to, to help you be creative and help you with the writing struggle. It's good to have other points of views about this artistry, because it's so important to know that you're not in this alone, that there are other people that, sometimes they share the same difficulties or the same success that you do. And, it's like therapy, not only for me, but I hope that, it's therapy for the listeners and for the guests that I bring on to the show. It's a way for them to, to express themselves and to, and to be candid. And that's what I love about the guests that I have on. Everything is not, sunshine and rainbows. They talk about the challenges of being a writer, and the process of becoming a published author, and I've also had bestsellers on the show. So, we have had a wide spectrum of guests on the show over the past few years, and I'm thankful for that, because variety is good. And, and I want to bring, if I can, I want to bring into the fold more local writers. And it is harder than you would imagine to actually get local writers to actually grant you interviews, to bring them onto the show. And I don't know why that is. To me, it baffles my mind as to why they, don't want to talk about what they do, or share, for the most part. But I am so thankful and so grateful for those who, I extended the invitation to, and they readily accepted it and said, sure, I would love to do your show. So I am so thankful for them and so grateful for them for helping me to, to build my platform, to get Book Chat started, and, and making it a success. And it's been three wonderful years of doing this show. And gosh, I mean, I can't imagine, and I didn't imagine myself, doing anything like this, because, it's completely out of my comfort zone. I can write and stay behind the scenes and in a, you know, in sort of in a sort of kind of way. Doing this podcast is like the same thing. You don't see me, but you hear my voice. But still, you know, it takes a little bit more courage than just staying invisible. So you have to sort of, put yourself out there, whether you can see me or not, but you can hear me. So still, it's a test of who I am as a person. To meet challenges when I'm faced with them. So, doesn't completely shut me down anymore. And it's helping me in more ways. It's expanding who I am as a person, and I think that's one of the reasons why Book Chat has been so successful. So if anyone had interviewed me, this is my interview. I'm interviewing myself today, and just talking about the show. And hopefully the continued success of Book Chat. It's been 3 years, and like I said, we're still celebrating. We celebrated the actual anniversary in July, but we're continuing on, and so I guess September will be the wrap up of of all the celebrations that's going on, because it's really a joyful time for me to be able to have actually come this far in doing this show, farther than what I ever thought possible. So before I wrap this up, I want to see if I can get Paige again. So I'm going to try to get her while I got you online. And so if you hear the phone ringing, that's okay. So just hold on 1 second for me. Let me see if I can turn on again. Well, folks, it's still a no-go. I still can't get her, but but I did try. But hopefully we can get her scheduled. Maybe during the week, maybe we can get her scheduled. Just to get her recorded and for a later date. So hopefully we can still do that. But anyway, I don't want to keep you for too much longer. So before I let you go, I want to make sure that I give you all of the ways that you can stay in contact with Book Chat and with me. So of course the first one is Spreaker, and that is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can follow me, like me on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram. You can just type in my name and you should be able to find me that way. And also, oh yes, my website, and that is https://authorvivianemore.com and authorehshepard.com. And if you follow my blog, that is vivianemore.blogspot.com. And more ways to listen to the show if you don't have Spreaker, but the show is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, but I'll just give you a few just to point you in the right direction. So anyway, we have Spreaker, of course, and then Apple Podcasts, which is iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, and SoundCloud. So those are all the ways that you can continue to listen to Book Chat, and I hope that you will continue to support me. And a big thank you to all of those people who have been subscribing to Book Chat through my website. Thank you so very much for that. I do appreciate it. And, keep making those downloads and like the show. You can go to iTunes and like the show, or any of the other places that I've given you where the show is broadcast. You can like me on there too. So I thank you so very much. And remember, tomorrow is Worship Day. So make sure that that you're tuned in, whether you're doing it over the phone, you're doing it over the internet, you're doing it via Skype or Zoom, or however you're getting the message. Just continue to do that and invite people to also listen in with you. And please tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance we get to say that. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.